Welcome to the Chief Architect Quick Tip. Today we'll be covering snap settings within Chief Architect Premiere. Within our software, we do have quite a few different snap controls enabling ease of use within the program. So let's start out talking about our grid snaps. Underneath Edit, we do have a drop down for the snap settings so you can get a visual very quickly about the different setting options that are active, which you can see by the checkbox. You'll also see our shortcuts over on the right hand side. We do have those shortcut hotkeys available for you to use as well. So first we're going to talk about those grid snaps. When we get into our grid option, it will automatically create our grid that you see currently. And if I zoom in here, you'll notice that we have even smaller grid lines. So that's the grid snap. Let me double click on our select object. That will bring up our general plan defaults. So within this area we can specify and manipulate the grid settings. Currently they're at 1-inch increments. You can get in there, change that, or you can also change the color and so forth. The reference grid are the larger grid sections, and those are 12-inch by 12-inch. Let's just get in here and change the color so we have a little bit more definition and we can see those differences. I'll select OK. And now you can really see the difference between the reference display and the grid snap. So I'm going to zoom in even further so we get an idea of what happens when we draw and have our grid snap setting active. I'll use our wall tool. If we place our cursor in the middle of one of the grids, I'm just going to click and drag. And you'll notice that it will snap to the edge of the grid. So it will move in those 1-inch increments as well. So that's pretty important if you want to have the grid snap on and snap to 1-inch increments or a larger increment option. We do have different shortcuts as well. So over on our right hand toolbar we have the grid snap. With a single click that will turn our grid snap off. So now when we select the wall, it will move freely, so there's no snapping. However, if we angle the wall and drag it up, it will snap. So our angle snap is still active. Let's talk about the angle snap option. I'm going to turn the grid snaps back on so we have that visual. So another option is Control F9. So Control F9 was our hotkey for the grid snap. So if you want to change the different angle snap increments, let's double click on that select object again. And under the allowed angles, currently our snap is on 15 degrees. You can change that to 7.5 or place in your own degree here. So I'll select OK. I'm just going to zoom out a bit so we have a better perspective here. So now when we snap into our angles, it's going to be a 7.5 degree snap. And you can also reference your angle down at the bottom of our screen. Right underneath my cursor there, you'll see 337.5 degrees. So you can reference the length of the wall and your angle down at the bottom there. So let's just put that back up to 0. And with a quick toggle off of the angle snap, now we can move that freely. We also have additional angle snap controls in our preferences. So through our preferences, under our Edit and Snap properties, we can toggle that angle snap on or off right here. So we'll turn that back on. And we can also specify display angle snap grid. So now when I select that wall and move it, we'll have a grid. So we'll have the reference for our 7.5 degree increment. Alright, I'm going to get back into our preferences and let's uncheck our display angle snap grid and move on to our object snaps. So for our different objects, they will snap according to the endpoint. So we'll have different visual references. We'll have the red box for the endpoint, a triangle for the midpoint, and so forth. So let's get into a room and work with a cabinet and light fixture to show how these object snaps really make the design process more efficient. So I'm going to quickly draw a simple room here and then get into my cabinet tools. And I'm just creating a room so we can place a light fixture on the ceiling that's created once we have a room placed in there. Alright, so let's get into our cabinet tool. And I'm going to zoom in here really quickly so we have a little bit more reference. So when I place my cursor onto the wall, you'll notice that we have the hourglass shape. So that's the object snap. So we're located and snapped onto the object. So that will appear as long as I'm next to that object. If I bring my cursor over to the edge here, that's my end point. So you'll notice if I zoom in even more that we have the red square. So that's going to be the endpoint. And if we drag our cursor to the midpoint of our wall, that midpoint indicator, the triangle, will appear for us and it will automatically snap to that area. So with a single click, now it's centered on our wall. And if we want to place our light fixture, just using our standard recessed light, I'm going to bring that onto the wall here and you'll notice that we still have that midpoint. The midpoint will show when you're on either a straight line, the straight wall, or along the side of our cabinet. If we move to the center of this object, you'll notice that it will change to a circle. So that's the center snap point. So we can single click and drop that right into the center of our cabinet. You can also bring your cursor out and you'll notice that there is a dashed blue line. That's the extension snap. So this will be the indicator that it has snapped perpendicular to that object. So pretty quick and easy through the edit drop down to get into your snap settings. And you can turn these on or off depending on your needs. Another shortcut, if you want to temporarily turn off your snaps, you can simply hold down Control on your keyboard and then you have free motion. So those snaps are temporarily removed. Otherwise, they will snap to the grid or to the objects. If you have further questions about what each snap represents, once you're in our preferences again, you can hit F1 on your keyboard and that will bring up our help within the software for the preferences dialog, and we can just select the Snap Properties panel to get further details on each definition for our snap types and the extension snaps. So let me bring up chiefarchitect.com. Through our website you can also find additional help resources for your snap settings. I'm going to get into our help database right underneath our support and type in snap settings, and this will bring up all of our help articles guiding you through the different snap options as well. So quite a few different controls here and articles walking you through additional snap properties. So check out chiefarchitect.com to learn more about our snap settings. Many different help articles and training resources through the videos as well. Thank you so much for watching today. Contact our sales department if you have any questions. Thanks so much.